they would go to each district in order to meet the needs of the people that fall on certain categories. So you know that if you ain't from the right category, you don't get caught in the red light district. You get caught in the blue light district, you good. Right. Right. You learn all that. So when you get done going down Basin Street, you had all of the rules of the local town. You know who not to fuck with. You know who you can fuck with. You know who you gotta look. If you see so-and-so, you know, give an old lady something, right? They tell you who that big mama is, how they look out for her, right? By the time you get there, now you're going down Bourbon Street for the nightlife. In the nightlife, you costumed out. Shit. This is, you know, at one point in time, it was Mardi Gras every goddamn Friday and Saturday night, right? Because you come in from the fields, unwind on Friday, you go down Bourbon Street, you come back up, down Basin Street, come back up Bourbon Street. Now it's time to go get you a room and take a nap. Because you don't got church till Sunday, so you got Saturday to lollygag around town all day and hit motherfucking Bourbon Street again, get sloppy drunk, pissy drunk, whatever you're going to do, go on back to the room, then get up and go to church. And from there you go back to Big Mama house and do you.
Right.
So they don't want the artists to come up with new art forms because they can't mechanize it, right? If they want every great guitar player to sound like Jimi Hendrix. Right? No, that's not how you be great. I think the great guitar player is the one who don't sound like nobody else but itself.
Exactly. And that's what they were trying to tell me. They were all like, oh, you need to sound like, I'm like, nah, bruh. Because what's the point? And it's like the advice that they were giving me, I'm like, I know they were telling me that they were giving me advice that didn't work. And I'm like, I already know your artists or whatever that you signed or whatever didn't even do that. So why the fuck are you telling me the wrong advice? Like yeah, but it's like everything is so commercialized. Like I'm glad I didn't get everything that
them being the Matrix agent, keeping your ego character that they helped you create in check.
Yeah.
So you don't that's what they call it, breaking the mold. You heard that term?
Yeah.
That's what breaking the mold. Because the mold is the artificial construct. Breaking the mold is when you step into your own self and do your own thing. You're gonna break the mold. You don't fit into their little box. Now though, you get the consequence part of it. These motherfuckers don't like when you don't fit in a box. Yeah. They become violently, extremely belligerent to you sometimes for not fitting in the box that they created in their head or where you should fit.
Right, and we gods, we don't have a box.
Look, they not gods until they can get out of that mindset. As long as they're in that mindset, that's not a god, that's an NPC. That's a 9-player character only sitting here to put obstacles in your path.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't fall for that bullshit.
Yeah, no, man, and I'm glad that everything didn't happen so fast for me, like, and with the whole just thing for why I said this is like a wake up call this is a cultural wake up call. Like we're meant for royalty. We were never meant to be the face of struggle anyways. Like we're ascending to a different level.
We believe in struggle. We believe struggle is ordained for the creation and development of the character of man.
Yeah.
We not opposed to suffering or struggling, I should say. Yeah. It's the unnecessary struggles.
Right, and it's like once you move to a different level,
the ones that's the side effect of the blatant oppression that we are opposed to.
Yeah.
Because at that time, our struggle then is no longer to provide for our families. Now our struggle is to overcome this juggernaut of a unconquerable force that's holding our people down and sucking our wealth.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about like all the negative like that. It was a time and place for that, and it's all like now with the whole world changing.
Right, it don't look when we talking about something, the problem, the magnitude of what we're dealing with, very few people can break out of the mold to raise their thinking level to solve those types of problems. The way I see it, if we follow the pattern that nature gave us, follow the hierarchy of the children in the middle, women around the children, the men around the women, concentric circles to the middle. That's the old matriarchal way.
Yeah.
When the great Atlan, as they call it, Atlantis, was functioning, operational, they didn't have no motherfucking crime.
Right.
They didn't have sociopaths, psychopaths. That shit was interjected into our reality from somewhere else.
And that's what I was saying.
Under the matriarchy, it's conditioning every child to create the life they want. Mm-hmm. That's it. About that song Buffalo Soldier. Buffalo soldiers existed long before Columbus came. It had nothing to do with that shit that they telling us about now. That was when they was running the buffalo off the cliffs. They would them the motherfuckers they wanted to get rid of. See, you got just like you got the gorilla clan, you had a buffalo clan, an elk clan, a reindeer or a deer clan, whitetail, different deer, and they would wear their pelts. This is why they call them skinwalkers. Now they got us thinking a skinwalker a ghost. No, we walk around with motherfucking skins on. So you motherfuckers can't tell who he is. The same reason black hand hanging from under him, like we can't see that shit. Yeah. My father say, boy, you don't know what the most feared thing in the South was? I said, yes, I do, Pops. He said, no, you don't. I said, it was the black hand. He said, how the fuck you know that? Yeah, he used to say that so much in the last couple of years I had with him. He asked me a question. He just know I'm not. There's no way he gonna know this. And I answered the question. He said, how the fuck you know that? I said, Pops, I don't know. I know too much shit that I don't know why I know this shit. He said, it'll come in handy pretty soon. I mean, yeah, okay, whatever. I just know a bunch of shit. I'm just a walking fucking university. If a motherfucker asks me some shit, I just know some shit. I don't know why I know all this dumbass shit. I don't even need this shit. Now I need this shit. Because now I can use it to wake up my people. But he used to get a real kick out of that. You know, I'm going to ask you one going to stump you. I said, Pops, you know why they called him the black hand? He said, he leaned over, he said, why they called him the black hand? I said, you ain't going to believe me when I tell you. He said, try me out one time. I say, because the original K-robe on, his hand was black hanging from under there, and he was the meanest motherfucker out the whole pack of them motherfuckers. He sit back and he said, what you say? I love my Pops, boy. He was a Garveyite. Garvey was a bad motherfucker. Yeah. Elijah, my man, but Garvey was a bad. Garvey came and literally put a whole army together with the nurse brigade for the wounded, the whole shebang. He said, we want to get these motherfuckers out there. I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, when you listen to when you read Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike, he said that the Blue Lodge, right, that's the outer court. When you look at a royal house and you look at what the outer court is, that's all security. That's all that is. He said they're the outer degrees. That means they're the ones around the throne to go to war for the chief, for the king, right? So when we use that and we look at what Garvey's works was, and we know that he coming from Prince Hall, Blue Lodge, and we know that Dubois coming from the Scottish Rite, but he's still coming from under Prince Hall. This confused the shit out of me at first, because the Scottish Rite actually gave the charter to the Blue House under Prince Hall, and them the motherfuckers we was warring with the whole time. They came in as 32 degrees Scottish Rite Freemasons, and the Scottish Rite held financial blood right rank over the York Rite, which is the Blue House. So when they did is they first pulled rank on the chiefs, because we didn't have all of the high chiefs on the land, right? When they pulled a rank, they came in as if they was us to fill the position of leadership. That's why Garvey said they gave us leaders and they enslaved us. They gave our forefathers leaders and they put them in slavery. That's because they was looking at the brotherhood code of the lodge, never knowing these motherfuckers is coming in on some dirtbag shit out the gate. Conquistadors. You hear me call them dirty Moors, but the proper name for them is conquistadors, right? They from the Tudors family who came to conquer. That's why they got to be called conquistadors, right? And so they didn't become Moors until the fucking 1900s. They keep telling us this ancient Morocco, and I keep asking the same question. How the fuck is this ancient Morocco when Morocco ain't even fucking ancient? The word Morocco is not an ancient word. It ain't nothing ancient about it, and you can't find no map before 1492 unless they just made this motherfucker up. They got this as Al-Maghrib, West Africa, or as motherfucking Morocco. It don't exist. I looked for it high and low. I done been all through the Library of Congress looking for that motherfucker. It don't exist. I cannot find a map older than 1492 that got anything that looked like Morocco on it about this land. It don't exist. So they making that shit up. Why would they make that shit up? Noble Drew Ali said the only thing that surprised me is if a Moor do right. Why the fuck would you say that when you started the Moor Science Temple? He was telling you who the enemy was the whole time. He pulled rank on them motherfuckers, and now they don't like it. Turnabout fair play. Now that he just pulled rank, now he put that shit in the fucking open. Now all the chiefs know what's going on. Now Garvey can figure out that it's, oh, we fighting a 200-year contract. Why you ain't tell me? I wouldn't even wasting my time coming up here. Right? But since he here, right, while he here, he might as well show us what to do at the conclusion of the contract. This what you do. The same way I'm putting the UNIA together, put your shit together. Form you a motherfucking alliance globally. Right? A confraternity of motherfuckers that's not for this and don't want no parts of the bullshit these motherfuckers playing, and they can't win because you got the blood and the right. Right? All we got to do is stand in the position of right, tell the truth with the blood and the right, and all they can do is submit. Them the rules. I didn't write the motherfuckers, I don't think. I just know what Big Mama and Mama told me. So Big Mama told me don't leave no stone unturned. That means study every doctrine on the land you can get your hands on in order to know what's influencing the people so you can know how to liberate them. You can't liberate nobody and you don't know a whole bunch of worthless ass doctrines and dogmatic information about motherfuckers that don't give a fuck about us. Right? You got to know all that shit, then you got to know your culture. Because then you can see who's been infiltrating the culture. And everywhere we look, they look like us. That's infiltrating us. But they don't move like us. And that's how we know they ain't us. They don't have that love in them. They operate from straight greed, hatred, jealousy, and envy.
Oh my God. And that's why I had to ask, like, can some of these people be in your family? Because, like, I be really feeling like they really like, I don't know. I'm like,
If they don't infiltrate the families, they didn't infiltrate us.
I'm like, you just
the families is the tribes.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
If they don't infiltrate the families, they can't infiltrate us. If they don't whitewash us in history, we gonna automatically know who he is, but we probably still wouldn't recognize them.
And I appreciate again. I'm kind of nervous right now, but
okay, stop.
The question I had.
Take a deep breath. Just let it go.
Okay. Okay. The question I have is like, like I be kind of like going with my intuition with stuff like I be knowing stuff like before it happened or whatever, right? But back then people used to call me crazy and shit. You know, like she crazy, she tripping, she on one, like, cause I used to kind of drink. I used to drink a lot too. So then that mixed with the craziness was like the way I used to act and stuff was like I was really crazy. But now that I'm, you know, not drinking anymore or whatever, and you know, not on the bottle and shit, I'm still kind of like the same way. The only thing is I'm not drinking no more. So like,
where you from? You from the Northeast?
No, I'm from Minneapolis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm from
it looked like your genes trace back to the Northeast. But anyway, what you describing, right? It's called the dance of the Hyoka. It's the chief crazy horse. How he got that name, being the master of the Hyoka dance. He look crazy. That motherfucker ain't crazy.
Yeah.
But everything he say come out to be the law. I mean, he's standing on pure truth. But he had to do that. That's a survival mechanism in the time of war, conjure war specifically. And sometimes we become vice lords because we can use the vice to prepare to be an addict all the time. We in total control. They think I'm an alcoholic because I drink 2 beers every day. No, that's so I can have that enough beer to talk with the slur so you can think I'm drunk when I'm telling you the truth, because a drunk man speaks a sober man.
Yeah.
That's what the Drink Champs is based on. Get them drunk and make them tell everything they know.
And the thing was, like when I was like that, people used to do a lot. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of me. You know what I'm saying? I knew I had it. I guess they knew I had it like that, or you know, they thought like I was vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like at the same time they was taking advantage of me being like that. Like I was crazy. I didn't understand and I wasn't paying attention. You know what I'm saying? But I remember everything and I was paying attention. You know what I'm saying? But I know I was fucked up, but at the same time, it's like now it's like, oh, she acting like she this and that. I'm acting different, supposedly, but I'm still the same person. The only thing is I'm not drinking anymore and I'm not letting nobody take advantage of me.
Oh yeah, whenever you start standing up for yourself, you become the problem. Yeah,
I'm the problem now. And so even like with me knowing on my intuition, with me knowing stuff before it happened, it's crazy how it happened, because I could say like before my mother passed, like everything you kind of saying, like my mother and my grandmother and my father and so on and so forth, like everything you be kind of saying be making sense because this is stuff they already had told me, but I didn't understand it. I didn't catch on to it until I heard you talking about it. Like, oh, that I think my mom told me a long time ago, but I didn't pick it up. I didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying?
You know how a lot of our mothers used to warn us about the enemy? They be married to somebody about my complexion or darker, right? And you ask them about some African shit, they like, I don't like them old black ass motherfuckers.
Yep.
They don't have in truth, we don't have a problem with Africans. But the people that came over here launched from Al Maghrib, which is in Northwest Africa, which they want us to believe that this is Al Maghrib, Northwest Africa, so that they can say that this is Morocco and not America, so that they got a home. They done already divided it up into the 13 provinces counting DC. and each one of them is marked by a central bank.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Them
Yep.
was
And then
supposed
like
to be the territories of the tribes of so-called Israel, which is actually the tribes of Jacob, the supplanter tribes, that comes to replace the original Adama, earthborn tribe. They told us the story and sensationalized Jacob got us worshiping our enemies. And then you wonder why we in this condition.
yeah. Yep. And even like when you were saying how they look like us, but they ain't us. Now I see it. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm picking up on it. You know,
A lot of our parents
like,
told it to us this way: all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
yeah.
We didn't know what the fuck they was talking about.
I was just like, what the fuck what the hell are you talking about? I don't understand that shit. But like now I understand it. But when I see it, I know it. You know, I can't explain it, but oh yeah, and it's another question too, like with the dreams, the astral plane flying. Like I've been having dreams like that for like a long time, like the astral plane and the flying, but I didn't understand what they was. I could say the last time I had one like that, it was like a dream I had, and I was at like a house or something. I can't remember if it was a house or what, but my mother was there. So mind you, my mother is deceased. She died like 9 years ago, but she was very, very smart. But long story short, I seen some bees flying around in the dream. But the bees were pink and white. They wasn't yellow and black. So I'm thinking, I don't know what that means. Seeing bees or whatever. Usually I don't see animals that much. Sometimes I might see a dog here and there or something, or you know, some weird stuff like a weird face creature or some crap. But sometimes they cool and sometimes they not. You know.
You a dream walker, sweetie. In the culture, we call people that can experience vivid dreams like that dream walkers. It's a priesthood of Hayokas that's the dream walkers. That's what they do. They see everything in the dream first, then the dream play out in the world.
Yeah, that's what it is. I know I could say this, like recently I had just started a job, right? I had just started working at this new place. So they told me to come to this training or whatever, right? So I go to the training, but the training, when I get to the training, it's in like some type of old like church setting or whatever, right? But I swear, now mind you, I had seen this before, like in a dream, like a long time ago. But when I had got to the place to do the training, I'm like, I've been here before. Even like with that, I know I've been here before because, like I could say, I've seen myself in like the 1800s before, walking down the street. I had a black dress, one of them old black dresses on with an old hat. I seen myself there before, and I seen myself in the 70s before. But the one I had seen in the 70s, I was like real rich, like real rich. Like I had a lot of money, and I was up in my penthouse or something, and some dudes came up in there and just shot me up and shit, shot my husband and shot me up. I'm like, damn. So I've been here a couple times before. I do remember, but when I say stuff like that, people be calling me crazy. I'm tripping. I'm out of my mind, and I just be like, whatever, you know.
When everything that's natural to you has been made evil, wicked, immoral, or illegal, people are going to choose every defense mechanism not to accept the reality of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as like right now, we are going through the Great Awakening.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people that used to look at you like you crazy is like, what? Oh, she was on to something. I don't know what it was, but she was on to something. But while you was going through your Hayoka phase, it was allowing you to see who was who.
Yeah.
This how you know. This how you know before your come up who gonna come up with you and who gonna try to hold you down. Right. So now they gonna give you hard knocks. They call it a hard knock life for a reason. These hard knocks is gonna bump you in so many different directions, like a pinball machine. To you, I ain't fucking with none of these motherfuckers.
That's
And
that's
then,
that's what that's how I feel now. That's how I feel now. Like, oh hell no. Like, y'all give me bogus all them times. Like now it's like now I don't even the half of the shit that be coming out their mouth be like dumb shit. Like I ain't trying to think I'm smarter than them or nothing like that,
he
but
probably
it
is,
just be
though.
stupid.
Especially if they graduated, that means they got the arrested development. They're a 6-year-old in an adult body.
Yeah, yeah,
And until
yeah.
they prove to you different, you have to approach people like that. Because if you try to approach them like they the age they appear to be, you
Hmm.
you asking for problems of miscommunication. You got to talk to the average person like they 6 years old and they can understand you clearly. And you start talking to them like they 13, 14 years old, and they start saying, "Huh? What you say? What that mean? What you talking about?
That makes sense.
Damn, you can't
That makes
understand the
a
words coming
lot
out
of
of my
sense.
mouth."
Hmm.
The
That
school,
make the whole.
that's the whole purpose of the school. That's what make it hell. Because in the game where um, the acquisition of knowledge is the only requirement, we got 30 seconds. Then a lot of people end up falling on the wayside because the school teaches you to surrender your identity for your ego and to pursue the things that make your ego feel good.
Since you said that, is he in the spirit realm per se? Because
he in Colorado at Raven Rock, working out with Angel Bay and going through paperwork. They right now they trying to rationalize the 72 secret treaties. It's 72. That's what they went in Mar-a-Lago looking for. The 72 secret treaties is what they was using to operate under. So we gonna find out what they is.
because Katita Dean said that she was able to pick up on him in the spirit realm.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of time they think a medium is picking up a telepathic link. They'll think that it's a spirit link because that's all they used to talking to.
Okay.
It's just like Tupac. Tupac can talk to me telepathically.
Whoever the infiltrator is going to disobey Elijah Muhammad and kill Malcolm anyway. Go back to Alex Haley and the book Autobiography of Malcolm X. Malcolm said, "I will literally lay my life down for that man." Malcolm said that, right? So if Malcolm would die for him, and now it's time to die, and his son ain't willing to die for him. But the only way they can make it look convincing is what we call a left bump. Boom. It looks convincing enough. Never knowing our culture. See, Elijah lived by the culture of the chiefs of the land. But they want us to live by Europeanized ways and tell us that that's how we supposed to live. So we look at shit with the wrong perspective. So we're going to exploit that to create a rift between Malcolm and Elijah. This is going to make Malcolm go against Elijah because he's the only one in the mission statement of COINTELPRO besides Martin and Elijah. So therefore, we know they're going to come at him. Right? So when Malcolm run the red herring, he do a press conference and name names infiltrators. Named the names of the infiltrators. Then he said, "I'm not telling. I know the code of the street. The police told me this. The enemy told me who the enemy was so that I know who was trying to kill me." He named names of infiltrators. If they obey Elijah Muhammad, we know that they with the messenger. But if they go after Malcolm and disregard the orders of the messenger, we know they ain't with him. So publicly, in front of everybody, he told the fruit, do not touch a hair on Malcolm's head. He said, Allah gonna take care of Malcolm. I don't want his blood on our hands. The same fucking thing the French said. When Malcolm tried to get off the plane in France and they wouldn't let him off, they say, we don't want your blood on our hands. The French was the only motherfuckers that we ran up out of here totally because they lost 2 out of 3 battles, major battles. They lost to Chief Pontiac and they lost to Tucson. Now they got to go home. So they sell the protectorate agreement to not advance beyond the Appalachians to the English, who don't have to follow their motherfucking orders because they don't give a fuck anyway. They coming. But the Englishmen look like us. They own the Royal Virginia Company and the Royal Northwest Trading Company, a slave trading company, merged with the Royal Moroccan Company to become one company under a treaty of peace and friendship so they can stop fighting each other on the transport of goods and from the Americas back to Europe. See, we talk about the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, but we don't go find out what they were signing the treaty for and who the treaty was being made with. These was trading companies. This like Ford, GM, and Chrysler fighting over the auto industry, and all of a sudden, the only solution was for the president to force them to merge and become the United States Automakers, Inc. That's all that happened. So they tricked us out of our shit. But when you understand what's going on, you see what's going on, we know who the dirty players is.
Right. Yeah. And they look just like us. And people have to understand that this system was built by them, whether you know it or not. It was. Right? And we have to go back and start, putting the pieces together. But like you said, our ancestors couldn't do it because we was just simply trying to make a dollar, feed the family.
We had a different structure. We didn't need money per se.
Yeah.
Right? We traded services for goods indeed. Like I would come fix your mama's sink and she cooked me 5 loaves of bread.
Yeah.
Right? So when they came over here, we had gold and coal was the big things at the time. That was what Big Mama kept in her bank for bartering trade. The gold and the coal, all Big Mamas, the wealth of the community was stored in golds and coal. The coal had big piles of coal in certain parts of the land because they used that to heat the homes and shit. Anyway, the gold was used to mint coins between clans, and we do trade with gold coins. They tell y'all that we didn't have no currency, but they sent their outlaws to shut down all Big Mama banks in order to establish the central bank. So what the fuck did we have banks for?
Right.
I mean, shit. So now all of the banks get a federal contract with the government under FDIC rules to establish a central bank to protect their interests because these outlaws keep robbing Big Mama house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's the bottom line. And it don't have no other choice but to be shut down. And that's what people not understanding is that, like, that's why they pulling out now. That's why they say we're not touching the dollar no more, y'all. We can't. It's time to pull out. It's time to pull out.
If you look at the BRICS nations, they building a currency dam. They forcing the American dollar back so it can drown itself out.
Yep. Nation by nation.
It's strategic. That's why they keep telling you how every couple of days a new nation join the BRICS nations.
Yeah.
Because
shit, a few weeks ago it was 20.
in the gold cycles, what we call these prosperity cycle, everybody has to have an opportunity to be wealthy at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is wealth is relative to who's at the bottom and who's at the top,
Mm-hmm.
right? So everybody has now got a drop of the royal blood, everybody royal family. People don't like to hear that shit. They want to be superior because of their melanin or because of their lack of melanin.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be superior, follow the way of the superior man.
Right.
Follow the way of the superior woman. Understand from your God self that there's nothing in creation that doesn't belong here. And everything, some things are only here for a season, but everything is here for a reason.
Right.
These are cycles that will change, and they do change. We adjusted and adapted over eons of doing this shit. So we did something. We went into an amnesia. Now we waking up.
Right.
Then when we wake up and realize that we can drive to what we call a prosperity cycle, and we can lay out a better way for the next 7 generations. And then we know that if we teach our children a better way, when it comes time for them to reset the next cycle in 7 generations, they'll be able to make it even better than it is between us and them.
Mm-hmm.
This is the goal. We got to be, remember, a midget on a giant's shoulder can see farther than the giant. And we all on the shoulder of giants, so we should be able to see pretty far if we just pay attention. But
Right.
that price is too steep for a lot of people.
Mm.
They're not willing to pay that price of attention in order to liberate themselves from a mental prison.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hologram got to shut down.
Yeah. All of us got to shut down. We don't understand that part. And a lot of us, like I have people send me things all the time about, man, you know, it's shutting down, man. We're not going to be able to go to the store. We're not going to be able to do this. They bringing body bags. They do it. And I'm like, that's not our timeline, though. You see what I mean? That's not for us. We have endured everything that they could possibly do. They can't do anything worse. Right now, it's payback time. This is a celebration. This is our time to get everything back. And then some.
This is called the Great Redemption,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I can get enough people to spread enough information across the land to hit critical mass, all the stuff I be saying becomes active,
Right.
right? I just be reminding us of our cultural ways because that's how you remind people of who they are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Why we like fried chicken? They make fun of us for it. It was a cultural phenomenon, right? We didn't use chickens, we had a different bird, but the concept is the same,
Yep.
right? We
Yep.
we didn't have bags of potato chips. We didn't have bags of popcorn and Twizzlers. So Big Mama would keep bowls of fried yard bird on the counter for guests. She'd fry 2-3 times a day because the children that would come visit needed snacks. So she'd give them a square cornbread or she'd give them a piece of chicken.
Yeah.
But don't touch the breast because that's for Big Papa.
Right.
We all knew. Now we don't remember the culture. So when they make fun of the watermelon, which was our flush, it was our summertime hydrant. How we rehydrate in the summer was watermelon. So they make fun of us because we was wise enough to know that when it's 107 degrees in the goddamn shade, get them babies some watermelon so they don't die from a heat stroke.
Right.
We knew that, but now we made fun of it. They make fun of us for eating a watermelon. That's so they can deter us from the benefits.
Right.
But the cultures say, fuck what they talking about. I'm getting me some watermelon. That's the culture speaking through us that make us not give a damn about the stereotype attached to give us a stigma. My people been eating watermelon longer than these motherfuckers been here.
Right.
We invented that shit.
Right. Exactly. We grew it. That gave us our superpower right there.
Look, we invented watermelon. We invented motherfucking strawberries. We invented motherfucking wheat. All of this shit, we were botanists that cultivated. We were cultivators of the land, and we needed to plant shit we could eat.
Yep.
Right? What fucking good do it make to plant a weed that you can't eat?
Right.
Right? And then the ones that became poisonous, them not for food, no way. That's for medicine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to be orally consumed, but we knew that. Now we don't know shit. My father said we don't know shit from Shanola.
Yep. Flat out. I got one more question,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I heard your live when you was telling everybody, yeah, you was going in on the Young Elders channel. You was like, stay the fuck home. It's over. Babylon is over. It's over. Y'all going in there buying tissue paper and shit. It's over, right? And I'm listening to you, and I'm like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. But you said something. You said, stay home. Stay home. Let them clean all this shit up in the streets. Stay home. Now, I have a question because people been talking about, right, the bunkers going underground.
Yeah.
Right? People saying we all need to go out into the streets versus staying home because the way that our homes are set up, they're not set up for long-term stays such as.
Let me tell you what I was talking about. Because while that was going on, I was also reporting on the raiding of bunkers, showing people the earthquake chart of what I was talking about when they was raiding bunkers. They raided one under the White House, and a couple of soldiers died in that shit. They raided them under the Vatican and under Buckingham Palace too. I reported on all that shit when it was going down was for. They was chasing some beings called archons. They reptilians. Right? And it was one who was the hive queen that lived under the Vatican. Inanna severed her head. She came back on the jumper because she said, "What? Nobody killing that bitch but her."
Indeed.
So I was fucking mad because I wanted to kill the bitch myself. But I was reporting on all that stuff back then when it was happening.
Gotcha.
Right. In
it's
real.
Still sounding relevant now because we're going through the same damn cycle where they trying to lock it down again, but we're not falling for it.
This called the flip. Everything we seen going in to the redemption, we seeing going out. My videos that didn't get a lot of circulation in the beginning get more circulation at the end. The shift in the algorithm tells me the shift in the culture. Right? So as I watch the algorithm shift, and the people remembering and they seeing and recognizing somebody telling them something that their ancestors or their elders told them had nothing to do with us. And now they calling them on it, and the ones who was for the bullshit is fumbling the ball. Right? They fumbling the ball. They can't, that's over with. They done. And so now these youngsters is catching on to how to use their telekinesis. Moving shit with their mind and shit. Because the veil is lifting and it's coming to a grand finale. Right? So now, even though it sounds relevant for the day, it's just that it's on the turnaround of a cycle. So it's going to be saying the same thing in a different tone. That's how we read our ancestors' messages in stone around the world. It tells us how to regroup. That's what
Yeah.
the Bang Dong Conference was, us regrouping.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the UNIA was, to get us to regroup on the land before we go over there to the Bang Dong Conference. We can at least be prepared to have some kind of network set up that when it come time to reclaim the land, we can oust the enemy around the world simultaneously. Right? So all of us join forces. And we get mad at other people for being on the land. A lot of these people we called over here to offer an aid and assistance in purging ourselves of the enemy.
Absolutely.
A lot of these Asians is coming over here to render assistance. Filipinos, they all fighting the same enemy.
Certain way. They love
Yeah.
a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
They share family bond a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You try to take Mardi Gras from them, and they come from all walks of life. They gonna fuck you up,
Oh yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's not gonna be personal,
Mm-hmm.
right? You gonna have a problem if you try to take Mardi Gras. That's
Yeah.
the cultural thing. That's part of the nature of the tribe on the land down there.
Mm-hmm.
The tribes from down there. See, we didn't just have Mardi Gras in New Orleans. They
Mm-hmm.
call it the Grand Carnivals in Brazil now,
Yeah.
right? It's the Mardi Gras.
Mm-hmm.
It's a giant festival. You got different ones. You got one that's supposed to be like the Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the type of Mardi Gras festival to recognize the ones that crossed over as warriors. Then you have, let's say, um, all of those festivals that they have. You be seeing them in South America a lot. Those festivals is cultural festivals that if the enemy would have tried to take that from the people, they would have had no rest on the land. That's just as simple as that. So it
Mm-hmm.
kept our cultures intact,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Sea walking, crip walking, that's an
Mm-hmm.
ancient conjure. Bee
Mm.
walking is the flip side of the same conjure. Cricket
Mm.
walking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have in Detroit, we got what we call Jit City.
Mm-hmm.
In Chicago, we ballrooming, we stepping, right? So all of these local traditional dances is the tribal instinct to develop a cultural link through dance and music. We naturally do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Whew. As always, you hitting, brother. Please support the brother. I finally got it right. It's CASHAPP, SIKAPE, capital SIK. Oh, sorry, capital SIK, capital APE. And thank you. I got to go back to this individual because they they were like, "You struggling there, Zosa? You gonna have to get it right." Who is it? It's divinely guided reading. She stepped in and got it right.
Oh yeah, they don't be playing.
Nah, I see. You know what I'm saying? That's tight. We appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Because we gotta support each other, man. That's just the bottom line, man. We gotta support each other. You know, real talk, brother. I'm so happy. You know what I'm saying, that you were able to come on. You know what I'm saying, and answer these questions, and even for me, just continues to build. I'm learning every day, and I appreciate you. Just building. From a student to an elder. I know we all master we all master students. We're trying the best I be, but I appreciate you, coming on and giving this information, man. And I wanted to warm up, man, because you already know I got some more nastier questions I want to do, in the heavier questions, I should say, not nasty. Well, maybe both, I don't know. But heavier questions in the future. So I'm hoping that we can link up again. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Anything
for
else you
sure,
want to
for
give?
sure.
Pardon me?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely. I
yeah, yeah.
appreciate you having me on here, getting the word out to the people.
That's it, man. Hey, if we don't do it, who's gonna do it, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's the bottom line, man. If we ain't gonna do it, if nobody's gonna do it, we just sitting there looking crazy as hell the whole time, and we can't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the sun cycle. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop remembering who we are. You know what I'm saying? These good brothers, like the good brother Rod Hayes here, he's assisting doing that, man. So please, like I said, support this brother. You know what I'm saying? Please, again, follow. What are all your pages? I know you said a lot of pages already full up, and
Yeah. So I'm on Rod Hayes on Facebook. My profile often changes, my picture, but the name stays the same. Rod Hayes .75 on Instagram,
mhm,
and Morpheus Mysticus Megas, which is pinned to the top of my Rod Hayes page.
mhm,
Right, so that's where I'm primarily at. You
mhm,
catch me sometime on Young Elder.
mhm.
Sometime I'll be doing the live with Dr. G on Reawaken Minds.
Okay.
Right, so this is just trying to get the word out to the people. So I appreciate you having me on here.
You doing it, brother. You know what I'm saying? You doing it, man, because I told you before when we first started talking, I I told him, I said, I might have to call you Uncle Rod, man, because you remind me of my, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the type of vibe you get. I hear that all the time, man. You know what I'm saying? People can connect with you, man. You sincere, you're real, you got the knowledge, you ain't, playing no games, man. Uncle Rod, I like that. You
You
know
know,
what I'm
that's a common a common. I got a whole lot of nieces and nephews,
saying? Okay.
right? And then they got friends,
Uh,
right? And their friends call me Uncle Rod.
Uncle
So
Rod, yeah, I can see that.
shit.
I see.
I got nephews and nieces that's from fucking 52 to damn 2 years old.
There you go. Uncle Rod, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's I also, like the analogy of Big Mama. You know what I'm saying? It's just because when you paint that picture, and I think about it all the time, man, because I was even before I always saw like the you know, this, the source of everything, as we in our language we call Papa Ut. But the source of everything is just a big mom that just wants to take care of you, just sits back and just saying, so I brought you to this planet. You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? What are and she'll nurture you and she'll whoop your ass, you know what I'm saying, at the same time. But
Mhm.
and I love that analogy, man.
And she gonna tell you to sit your ass down right now. You ain't got no business out there in the streets. And I don't want to hear no talk back. And y'all, you gonna be saying you don't know why you doing it because in your mind you cussing her out. I ain't gonna listen and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But when she tell you, you just say yes, ma'am.
That's it.
Right? And then you
Mhm.
be like, what the fuck just happened? Big Mama spoke.
My mother.
That's it. Don't nothing else need to happen.
I
Because
know
if you
that.
piss Big Mama off, she gonna call Big Papa. He gonna put his foot in your ass.
That's it. You already
And don't.
know.
And then if you think he too old to tussle with you, and you strong enough, he got one of them boys or two of them boys that's gonna put your new world in order.
That's it.
Ain't no
That's it.
disrespect at Big Mama house. Period. That's all it is to
That's
it.
it.
That's the law of the family,
That's it.
right?
The
So we
right
gotta all get back to Big Mama house.
Big Mama's house. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man. I love listening to your lives, man. Because I was you. I think you were breaking something down about Django, and even so, dealing with the slaves, Native Americans, all that stuff. It all starts making so much more sense. And I put it right in the movie. Samuel L. Jackson sitting there writing all the checks when old boy, what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio, he out there masquerading like he's really the front, but Samuel L. got all the power behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? It's all making sense, man. I'm telling you, bro. Because when like I told you before we went on here, I was watching when I was reading the first time I got that book, Let's Set the Record Straight by Dr. York, right? I was reading,
That's a
back,
headbanger there,
man,
boy.
that'll crack your neck in half, man. But see, I was younger when I first got it, obviously, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there reading it, and I got the information stored in me, all that stuff he was talking about at the time, because I was wearing the red fez, back in and everything. All that information, I got it all. But see, it's a lot different when you start connecting the dots to other aspects of American history. You know what I'm saying? It all starts becoming more alive and more real and more tangible, to this reality we're dealing with
Right.
in
So
America.
it helped you make sense of the struggles we've been through
Mm-hmm.
and why we even went through them. We didn't
Yeah.
know it. We didn't know in the 60s and the 50s and the 20s that we were at war.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But our ancestors knew that ones that got slaughtered
Mm-hmm.
in the 1700s, 1600s,
Mm-hmm.
and even the early 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You can see the power struggle,
Mm-hmm.
but they telling you that it's something other than what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Right. They telling you that the Boston Tea Party was about excessive taxation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why we ain't having a Boston Tea Party?
Yeah.
We being excessively taxed.
Excessively taxed, yeah.
Right. So then the Boston Tea Party couldn't have been about taxes because we ain't having a Boston Tea Party right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it about? There was the crash site.
Mm.
It was the incident that allowed them to declare that we crashed our land map into their ship.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So their ship was
How to make you into a spiritual warrior ready to fight whatever you face. It's like martial arts for the spirit, so to speak. You already know that.
I feel like whatever breakthrough or whatever I'm gonna whatever is gonna be revealed to me is gonna be so profound that it'll eventually lead me to that point of ascension that on that path that I'm going towards. But I don't know.
So my mom
It's crazy.
used to tell me the Lord ain't gonna put no more on you than you can bear. And I used to tell her I'm not no damn bear. I can't handle this shit. She said, but what that means is this: in retrospect, when you go follow your path, you go through phases of build-up and realization. Your realization can only come to the level that you build up to accept. And at no time will you purposely reveal something to yourself that can permanently damage you or that can make you stick out so far in the world that other people become belligerent to you. Because you can let your light shine so bright around these motherfuckers that they just want to distinguish your light because it's so bright and theirs is dim and they jealous. So sometimes you don't want to know stuff because as your confidence level goes up, it makes your inner light shine brighter and brighter. And before you know it, the haters, they gonna have a whole committee rooting against you, and you're gonna be laughing your ass off looking at them. But in the build-up phase, you learn the lessons that's gonna carry you through the realization phase. And you can choose the lessons that you're learning by selecting to learn about certain different things. And then that's what'll be on the test because it'll be how you perceive. You've been exposed to more knowledge. Now you can move to a higher grade in school because the knowledge you have is no longer functional at the grade you're in. You're your own master teacher.
Because right. And I feel like I'm so prone to like a lot of shit. Like a lot of shit will happen and I eat it so fast. Like the craziest stuff, people do the craziest stuff to me and I'll just be like, it's okay. Like I still love you, like crazy shit like that. And I was opening, well, I wasn't intentionally opening my heart chakra, but that shit felt like I was dying. And it was so bad that I was gonna go to the hospital. And I would cry for like weeks. I would cry every day. Like, and I'm like, I can't remember my childhood. I'm a super empath. I love everybody. I didn't understand why I had so much, my heart was so heavy to the point where it wasn't even heavy. It just was to the point where like, I was doing some shadow work. I thought I was going to die.
The hardest shit I ever
so
did
bad.
facing my inner darkness. Because most of my inner darkness, I don't disagree with it if it's used in the proper context. Like, I still fuck a motherfucker up if I have to. But my inner light says there's no reason to put yourself in the spotlight of a person that you have to fuck up. So I move different now, out of wisdom versus moving out of just the dark, rational, not rational, irrational drive of the instinct. Because my instinct sometimes be to fuck a motherfucker up, but it's not necessary. So I had to always have a conversation with myself. Do I beat his ass or what? And then I'll be like, is this in context? And most of the time be like, no, you just want to beat a motherfucker ass. Right.
I never feel that
Yours
way.
is probably the opposite.
I never.
Because
it's hindering me still though. That is the opposite. Like it's
right.
like my ex and everything, and I don't feel it. Just I don't know. It's weird. I can't hold on to anger.
You're not meant to hold on. Anger is just to tell you that it's danger involved. You need to be in that warrior mode in case you have to face danger. You're not supposed to live in the anger.